Hi everyone.
Are you feeling good today? Before we go to our presentation, let us introduce ourselves. The definition covers all sectors, namely services, manufacturing, agriculture, construction and mining and quarrying. Sales turnover and number of full-time employees are the two criteria used in determining the definition with the OR basis. As for the manufacturing sector, SMEs are defined as firms with sales turnover not exceeding Rm50 million or number of full-time employees not exceeding 200. For the services and other sectors, SMEs are defined as firms with sales turnover not exceeding Rm20 million or number of full-time employees not exceeding 75. All SMEs must be entities registered with SSM or other equivalent bodies. It, however, excludes entities that are public listed on the main board and subsidiaries of publicly listed companies on the main board, multinational corporations, MNCs, government-linked companies, GLCs, MKDs, and state-owned enterprises. There are many financing sources for SMEs in Malaysia. For example, bank finance and crowdfunding.
For bank finance, banks may be willing to provide an overdraft of some sort and may be willing to lend in the long term where that lending can be secured on major assets such as land and buildings. However, raising medium-term finance to fund operations is often more difficult for SMEs as banks are traditionally rather conservative. This is understandable as the loss on one defaulted loan requires many good loans to recover that loss. Hence, many SMEs end up financing medium-term, and potentially longer-term assets, with short-term finance such as an overdraft. This is poor matching and very much less than ideal. This issue is often known as the maturity gap as there is a mismatch of the maturity of the assets and liabilities within the business. Furthermore, banks will often require personal guarantees from the owner-manager of the SME, which means the owner-manager has to risk his personal wealth in order to fund the company.
For crowdfunding. Crowdfunding involves funding a venture by raising finance from a large number of people and is very often achieved over the internet. Finance provided by crowdfunding may be invested in the debt or the equity of the venture seeking the finance. Some crowdfunding is done on a keep-it-all basis where any funds raised are kept by the recipient, whereas some is done on an all-or-nothing basis where the recipient only receives the funds if the total required to fund the particular project is raised within a given time frame. The crowdfunding platform takes a fee, which is often a percentage of the amount raised. Crowdfunding has the potential to be very beneficial to SMEs. It allows them to contact and appeal directly to investors, who may be willing to take the risk involved in funding the new technologies and innovations, which SMEs are often so good at producing.
There are many regulations for SMEs. First, Department of Environment Regulation. Second, Local Council Regulation. Third, Health Regulation.
Bericap Malaysia is one of small and medium-sized entities. Bericap Malaysia is a company that based in Malaysia, with its head office in Kolai. It operates in the all other plastics product manufacturing industry. It was established on 10th of December 2014. Bericap Malaysia is one of the leading manufacturers of plastic closures for beverage, food and industrial markets. In its most recent financial highlights, the company reported a net sales revenue increase of 10.66% in 2019. Its total assets grew by 1.99% over the same period. The net profit margin of Bericap Malaysia SD and BHD increased by 0.51% in 2019. The success story began with the founding of Jacob Berg GmbH in 1926. As early as immediately after the end World War II, though, the product portfolio underwent a radical change in order to adapt to market needs. The company moved out of tin can production and specialized instead in metal packaging for dyes, paints and chemicals. At the same time, the portfolio was expanded to include metal toys and the first plastic products. What is company's nature of bussiness? Bericap SD& BHD manufactures and sells plastic caps and closures worldwide. The company focuses on the design, development, manufacture, marketing and supply of plastic closures and dispensers for plastic, metal, glass, carton and flexible containers. Bericap provides double seal system, which consists of an inner and an outer seal and provides for one-piece closures. Bericap serves beverage, food and non-food market. There are two sector of bussines. The first one is food and the second one is beverage. Example: Discover for food. Example: Discover for beverage. Opportunities faced by Bericap SD& BHD during the crisis of pandemic COVID-19. Gain more profit. Bericap SD& BHD gains higher profit during this global pandemic due to high demand of plastic use, especially in food and beverages sector. Save up more money. Bericap SD& BHD save money in terms of office electricity bills and water bills because most of our employees in the office are work from home.
There are 3 challenges faced by the company during the pandemic of COVID-19. The challenges are: firstly, manage the surge in demand. Secondly, emphasizing on safer, stronger and hygienic packaging for their food and beverage products. And lastly, maintains a high standard of hygiene for employees at the start and end of every shift. Once the government started to announce the implement of movement control order in Malaysia, people started to panic buying. Because of this, the demand and needs of foods and beverages are increasing. The company needs to make sure all the products sent to the supplier are adequate for all buyers. Company analysis at handling the surge of demand. Planning for the surge where the management of the company needs to make quick decisions to respond, and external factors also will be influenced by those decisions. Using the what-if analysis, which can help the production team in controlling on producing foods and beverages. Company needs to know the average of food produced every day to be packed and sent to supplier. Since demand increases, the calculation of product produced would be increasing. What-if analysis helped Bericap Malaysia to control the company production. During the lockdown, people tend to buy things online. So, Bericap Malaysia, who plays a role as a manufacturer of foods and beverages, needs to make sure the packaging was more safer, stronger and hygienic to be supplied to the supplier and sell to the buyer. To make sure the packaging is safer, stronger and hygienic, Bericap Malaysia SD& BHD needs to prepare the packaging with the use of fragile sticker. Next, the boxes must be padded. And the box must avoid over-packaging throughout the supply chain. The last challenge is maintain a high standard of hygiene for employees at the start and end of every shift. 1. Keep employees at least 6 feet away from each other as much as possible. Add additional clock in or out stations and space out chairs in break rooms. 2. Increase frequency of cleaning and disinfection in shared spaces. Clean and disinfect tools or other equipment as often as employees change workstations. 3. Promote proper hand hygiene. Provide access to running water, soap, paper towels, and no-touch trash cans if available. 4. Educate and train employees on COVID-19 and how to protect themselves and others at home and at work. Cover topics like staying home when sick, social distancing, how to wear face mask properly, and proper hand hygiene.
Now let's see. What is Bericap Malaysia SDNBHD's source of financing? The company used crowdfunding. The company has corporate shareholder or more than 20 individual shareholders. In its most recent financial highlights, the company reported a net sales revenue increase of 10.66% in 2019. This is Bericap Bericap from private company held by family for over 90 years of experience from 1926. Now they become one of the leading manufacturers of plastic closure for food, beverage and industry of market. Bericap runs 24 factories in 21 countries worldwide including Europe, Middle East, Africa, Asia, and North and South America. To supply world-class high-value-added plastic closures and dispensers, they work with their own proprietary technology and injection mold manufacturing, as that is very important and central element of their technology.
Based from all the information throughout this video, we refer to all this link listed here.